Hey, church, what's up? First things first, I shaved, so get a good look because you won't see her for a very long time. Now we're twins. I want to talk about just two things today. Number one, just living in faith. And then the second thing is going to be hurdling the net. All right, but I'll try not to take up too much time. So the first thing, as far as living in faith, I feel like we all, when it comes to faith, we're still human. We have human feelings, human emotions. So at times, it's really hard to kind of just see that next step, because everybody's scared to take the next step, no matter what it is, no matter, how old you are, either. Everybody's scared of risk. Everybody's scared to take that next step. And living in faith, when I was in Colorado, actually, out there, I was out there. I was loving the scenery. I was loving the environment. Being away from home was really good for me to grow. And then towards like the end of my trip there, they offered me a job to stay there, and it had a really nice paying salary. Had a relocation, had a bonus for just moving out there, and I was super compelled to, just move out there and kind of go out there and start a new life and stuff like that. And I remember talking with my girlfriend Sarah and my uncle as well, and Pastor Martin. I was going crazy, guys. I was like, oh my God, I need to move out here. This is like, come on. But I just remember, I think like the last week I was there, just living in faith. I remember being on the phone with Pastor Martin, just telling him how stressed out I am about the decision that I'm trying to make. Like, should I stay in Texas? Should I come over here, start a new life for myself? I can build something out here, bring everybody out here. And I was just stressing. At one point I was like, every day I felt different. Every day I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Texas. Oh, I'm gonna go to Colorado. Oh, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna move back. And it was just back and forth. And then me and Pastor Martin were just kind of, talking about living in faith, and he believed that there was something for me out here. And at first, I really couldn't see it because maybe I was just too reliant on my own feelings. I wasn't really paying attention to what God had planned for me, you know, as far as just living in faith. And after talking with Grandma Jill, too, about how to recognize that peace, now that I look back on it, I don't think I had that peace. I was really stressed out trying to, decide what I wanted to do. But after I remember talking with Pastor Martin, and just after that, I decided, okay, I'm just going to let God decide what's going to be best for me, right? And I remember being in Colorado, and I don't have a picture to share, but on my phone screen, I made it a lock screen that just says, God's got something for me. I have faith that I'll be okay. And every day, just looking at my phone subconsciously, every day. So when I got back to Texas, at first I was like, oh man, I couldn't do it, and I don't know where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do. I was so stressed out with my job at that point in time, even though I had gotten everything that I had asked for God. Being one of the youngest managers in my company, making a really nice salary, having the days that I want off for church. After praying for all that, and then now it's like, man, there has to be something better for me now. And so yesterday, actually, I just got finished doing an interview to be a general manager at a Panda Express for $100K a year. Yeah. Yeah. We're friends. And so I'm waiting on these next few days to see if I receive a call. But I'm not worried. I was telling Sarah too, like, I mean, if I get it, that'll be amazing. But if I don't get it, I'm sure God has something even better for me. So that's how I'm just living. I'm just don't stress at all. Just let him handle it. And when I say really give it to him, I mean just sit in your car by yourself. Be like, even if you feel weird, just God, like, I really can't handle this. I give this to you. Like another example, that situation where everybody remember whenever Pastor Alexander gave that amazing testimony and presentation about the parental trauma, how it can affect kids and stuff. I had been struggling with getting my mom here in church to the point where, like, 2 weeks prior to that, I kind of just mourned the loss of, like, the relationship with my mother. And then, like, next thing you know, she texts me, like, out of the blue, like, a week and a half later, like, hey, I'm gonna come to church. I'm like, all right, if you want to come to church, that's fine. All right, and I don't really expect you to be here, but hey, come on, And so when she came, and then Pastor Alexandra was giving that, I was like, let's go. I was like, I don't even gotta say anything. All right, and then the last thing is the hurling the net, guys. I feel like as a whole, we should all kind of be doing this, and I don't mean go out there and just, hey, do you know how much God loves you? Not like that. Just what I do personally when I meet somebody, I tell them about the relationship I have with God and how blessed I am. Like, look what I have. Look what He's done for me. Look how how old are you? Oh, I'm 23. You're 23? That's what I get all the time. 23, and I'm like, yeah, I'm 23. Very young. Like, man, I thought you were like 28, dude. How'd you become a manager here so young? Yeah, and it's like, and now that I shaved, hopefully I look 19 again. So, but just explaining how that relationship that you have with God and how good He is, and another thing too is whenever I tell people about this church, this is the main thing that I say, and I say, we try to stick to the main practices of what Jesus did, which is loving people, right? If you go to some other churches or some places, they have that type of mindset of how they think Christians should be, or just in general. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. We love you. No matter who you are, everybody has sins, everybody has issues. We're going to love you before we even talk to you about God. We're going to love who you are as a person. We're going to get to know you first before we even begin diving in that area, because you don't never know who's comfortable with that, who's not. So that's usually what I do, and people get pretty interested and they ask questions, and I'm usually there to answer. But, that's really all I have to say on those two things. Oh, yeah. I had and it's so crazy because the video that me and Pastor Andrew Taylor did, the one about just how Jesus paid for every past, present, and future sin, and that He made the old covenant obsolete. I actually had one of my employees at the bar, who was one of my bartenders, was just kind of asking me about questions and this and that, because one was a Christian, one was a non-religion. I'm sorry, one was a Catholic, non-religion, and a Baptist. And they were just asking me questions left and right. And I was like, well, this is that. And they were like, man, good answer. And then I remember at work, I'm a way different person. If you catch me at work, hey, I'm a way different person. I'm going to let you know right now. I'm a little strict, working, this and that. So one day I remember I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm just living my life as a holy man. And one of my bartenders was like, holy man, that's hard to believe. And I was like, whoa, let's talk. So that's where I got started on answering all these questions. And one of the questions was, do you think that God kind of puts like this feeling on your heart so you know right and wrong? And I was like, let me talk to you. And so, just explaining that how Pharaoh knew it was wrong, adultery was wrong even before, the 10 Commandments were made and all that stuff. And that's how we know, murdering somebody or doing something really sinful, you just feel bad about it. You feel like this really type of grief in your heart, like almost like your soul is kind of like breaking apart, And that's one thing that I was explaining, and another topic was on the other video we made, So you never really know when you'll be ready to pull out this information, So that's why I encourage you guys to, start, if you haven't already, started your discipleship with the pastors for the worship. It's very insightful and just learning yourself, so that way you can go out there and curl that net a little bit and tell everybody how good God is, because He's given me a lot of things, Sarah, my relationship with my uncle, the church, my life, my career, and my life may not be the best, but there are people out here who have it 10 times worse than me. So always remember that and be grateful. And that's really all I have to say.